Hey, Ryan, you may want to mute everybody except for you, Stephen, and Trey.
Yep, no problem.
So Ryan, are you able to see my screen?
Hold on one sec. No, because Trey is sharing. So go ahead, Trey. Can you stop sharing yours? And then Steve, it's all yours to go ahead and share now. So while you're pulling that up, Steve, I'll go ahead and kick us off. Just a quick intro, then hand it off to you. So welcome everybody. Appreciate you being here for TAG presentation alongside Hikvision. And Annixter is gonna wrap us up at the end as well. And so today we're excited to talk to you about, the new technology of thermal cameras, scanners. The technology's come a long ways, and it is out. And an interesting time for the technology because right now, there's a huge interest in it. You can't turn on the news without hearing articles or interviews. A lot of press around the ability to be able to scan for body temperature. And so there's different applications. There's different technology with scanners, access control, and cameras that Trey is going to get into here today from a technology standpoint. And then we also have Steve with Hikvision as well, which is going to get into more of the business side of it and support from Hikvision. And then we're going to wrap up with Annixter and the ability to go in and get pricing and support of speccing out these systems, be able to put together a proposal and design based on that. So with that being said, hand it over here to Steve. And Steve, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and kick us off here?
Sure. Well, thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for having Hikvision to present for you guys our thermal technology. Anyhow, my name is
I'm gonna go ahead and
Steve
mute everybody, and then
manager.
I'm gonna mute everybody, and then open this back up to you, Steve. Give me 1 second here. Unmute you. Okay, Steve, you there?
Brian, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just lost Steve's audio and I muted everybody. Hold on here.
Ryan, did you unmute his, I think he said he called in. Is that him that called in? The audio?
Oh, that's why. Maybe he's on the phone number. Hold on. Okay, let's try this real quick. I'm going to unmute everybody if everyone can mute themselves now. And then,
Okay.
Steve, you have the floor.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So again, thanks everybody for having us. My name is Steve Litton. I'm the National Account Manager with Hikvision, and also on the call is Trey Cox, who is our Sales Application Engineer for National Account. Just kind of let you guys know a little bit of an introduction to the support structure for Hikvision. Is for some reason my screen is locked now. Hang on a second. There you go. Okay, how is it that we support the TAG members is that we're actually broken up into 2 super region and then 7 regional territories. Trey and I represent the California and Hawaii territory. However, TAG members, as you know, is spread out across the U.S. So we solicit a lot of time when a TAG member that comes from another region and so forth, the local regional sales manager for support, of course, because we can't fly everywhere. There's only 2 of us as far as covering the TAG members. So what I want to ensure that everybody is that anytime you're needing help, you can reach out to Trey or myself at any time, and we can provide you with the resources and the support. How do we do that? As you can see on our list, not only do we have upper management and senior level, we have inside support. Again, we're broken down into different regions, and we have tremendous amount of RSM support within those specific regions. So support shouldn't be an issue, and contact shouldn't be an issue. If you're running into those type of problems, definitely reach out to Trey or myself. Also, in addition to that, we work with specific distributors. In this case, Annixter is our partner as far as tag is concerned, in registering projects, giving you additional discounts or what have you if you're running into competitive situation. On top of that, we have a BD and solution team that helps support our efforts in Hike Central or thermal technology if you're needing live demos or a special key for different markets. So why Hikvision as far as our high accuracy thermal? First off, we're acquired our own thermal sensors factory at headquarters in late of summer of 2018. Only 6 thermal sensor manufacturing right now currently worldwide. This allows us to control quality, delivery, and pricing. Over 200 thermal engineers for Hikvision is dedicated solely to thermal technology. So that's to your benefit. And some of our advantages is our DDE, which is our digital detail enhancement. Based on the enhancement algorithm for the region interested, ensures image display more details. So if you look at with the DDE off, in this case, in comparison to DDE on for Hikvision thermal, the details is much clearer and crisp. Another technology we use in the advantage over the competitor is adaptive AGC versus the linear AGC. What that does is allow us to control clarity and the image permeability. So, and Trey will be getting into all this stuff with you, but I wanted to get you guys excited about our technology and the differences. Another area is the competitive advantage that we have in comparison to a competitor is our 3D digital noise reduction. Through noise reduction processing original signal, the pixel is, as you can see, with the 3D NR off and in comparison 3D NR on, the image again is clearer, crisper, and you can see the outline of as far as the tree line and so forth. So some of the target markets that we're currently engaged in are retail, education, healthcare, manufacturing, gaming, smart buildings, city surveillance, hospitality. And, you know, Ryan asked me to share this with you guys. Normally we don't do this, but here are some of the percentage of what we're seeing as far as where different verticals where we're seeing a lot of quotes come through. And retail has been huge. As you know, as retail starts opening up, they're going to require or maybe not be required, but they're going to find out a way how to keep their employees and their customers safe. With that being said, I'm going to turn this over to Trey to get into the good stuff.
All right.
Wonderful. Thank you, Stephen. If you could stop the share on your side, and then I will share my screen. Here we go. Okay. Well, welcome everybody, and thank you for your time today. So first, I'm going to start with thermal technology basics. Okay, this technology has been around for years. Most recently, it's been used for body temperature screening. However, there are a lot of use cases for this technology, and I just wanted to quickly highlight the various usage. So the original use case for thermal was to be able to put a thermal camera in a location where there was little to no lighting, because these cameras can see in complete darkness, and they can do very accurate fence line or perimeter detection, because these thermal cameras are actually looking for body heat rather than changes in pixels. So if you have a fence line perimeter or an intrusion zone and you want to be notified when somebody's crossed that line or entered into a particular area, they're a very accurate way of detecting that sort of an intrusion or line crossing. And if you look at the left image, I have my thermal lens shown there, and I've drawn a blue box and a blue line. The blue line being a line crossing and a blue box being an intrusion zone, just there for a sample for you to view. I will show you this as well. If you take a look at the image on the screen, you'll see that I'm showing you a picture of what this camera looks like. You'll see that this camera has two lenses. So all of these cameras that we're going to talk about today are what we call a bispectral camera. So they have both a regular video surveillance optical lens, which I'm displaying on my screen on the right-hand side. And then we also have a thermal lens built into the camera. So those two lenses can be either displayed in two separate windows, as I'm doing right now. We also have a way of doing like a picture-in-picture mode. And then we also have what we call image fusion, where we can actually take all the details from the optical lens, the nice crisp outlines and detail, and we can overlay that on top of the thermal image, giving you a lot more detail and sharp edges to that thermal image. So we talked about the fence lines and intrusion zones. One of the other cool features of thermal cameras would be fire detection. So I'm going to go ahead and just spark a lighter here in front of the camera. And you'll notice that these cameras will do temperature detection as well as fire detection. I'll go ahead and exit this, and I'll open up my alarm panel. If you look at the alarm panel at the bottom of my screen, you'll see that I have about 8 alarms that I just received. Some of them were fire source detection alarms, and some of them were temperature detection alarms. If you look at the screen right now, I got an alarm details page that has popped up. This is a temperature detection alarm, and it's showing us that a 216-degree Fahrenheit temperature was detected by the camera in a zone that was set to alarm on anything above 102 degrees. So yes, you can use this for doing body temperature measurement, but you could also use this to measure temperature of machinery in a factory. We have a lot of power utility companies that are using these to measure temperatures of different components within the power plant.
Amazon.
And so that's the basic overview of different things that we can use thermal technology for. So I'm going to stop sharing that, and I'm going to go back into and share a PowerPoint with you guys now. And this is going to focus more on the body temperature screening side of things. So we do have a 3-page marketing brochure that you guys can have access through. Ryan can get this over to you. This brochure is kind of detailing on the first page an overview of the technology. You'll see on the lower left that the cameras that we're going to be talking today can have a maximum accuracy level of plus or minus 0.5 degrees Fahrenheit of accuracy. Now, these cameras and technology will only achieve a 0.5 degree plus or minus accuracy if they're used in combination with what we call a black body calibrator unit. If you do not use the black body calibrator unit with these cameras, then the camera itself will get about 0.9 degrees plus or minus Fahrenheit. The second page of this brochure shows 3 sample scenarios. One being our entry-level type system. 3 would be our high-level, most accurate type system. So in solution number 1, you'll see that we have handheld devices. Our handheld devices, we have two different flavors. We have a lower cost economy level handheld, and then we have a higher end model as well. This would be a handheld kind of point and shoot device. It will not work with a black body calibrator. So this unit that's a handheld is only going to be 0.9 degrees Fahrenheit plus or minus accuracy. It is a Wi-Fi capable unit, so it could have communication with a laptop or a PC that is running our software, and you could do some monitoring on screen via our software with this Wi-Fi based unit. This unit, the handheld, also has a speaker built into it. So it will have a little siren or buzzer sound that goes off when a high temperature is detected. So another verification method of showing you that high temperature. Solution number 2, this is kind of our middle of the road solution. This is our turret style camera paired with our software. Once again, this is not using the black body calibrator, so the camera by itself will get you the 0.9 degrees Fahrenheit plus or minus accuracy. One thing to point out on this turret style camera in solution number 2 is that there is a speaker built into this camera, so you get that audible siren on high temps. Also, there is a white little round strobe light on the camera. So that strobe light will also flash if a high temperature is detected. So we talked about the handheld being a point, aim, and shoot. There's basically crosshairs on it on the screen. You have to aim it at the person's forehead. Whereas with the cameras, we can actually do what we call face detection. So we've taken bits and pieces of our facial recognition technology, and this camera can actually locate and find the person's face and target the temperature measurement to the person's facial region. So if that person walks in the door holding a hot cup of coffee down by their waist, it will not set off a false alarm. However, if they take a sip of that hot cup of coffee and hold the coffee up to their face, you could potentially get a false alarm because it's in their facial region. Now, we have a note here that it says it can detect up to 30 individual faces at a single time, and that is a true statement. However, we do recommend filtering one person at a time in front of the camera. And you would want to tape off an area on the ground at a specific distance from the camera, and that person would walk into that zone, stand there for about 1 second, and their temperature would be read, and they're either permitted access to the facility or told to potentially go to a secondary screening zone where an actual FDA approved temporal type thermometer is used to determine that there is an actual fever. These devices that we're talking today are just a preliminary screening device. You should always send people to a secondary screening area where an FDA approved device is used to properly determine that a fever is present. Solution number 3 jumps into our high level system. Yes, sir.
Sorry to interrupt you. We had a couple people request that you put into presentation mode. You able to do that with your PowerPoint so people can see a little bit better?
So I actually can't at the moment. I can zoom in maybe a little bit.
No, just leave it as is though. That's fine. Leave it as is, and then people can zoom in on their own screen. I think that'd be better than cutting off the edges there.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm using a second display here at my house, and when I do that, it causes some problems for me. So,
Ryan, we can send out this material to each member too if needed.
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
We can share it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we have a recording going, so we'll send that out as a follow-up along with the slide deck. So All right, sorry to interrupt, Trey, back to you.
No problem. So solution number 3 is going to be our high level, most accurate type solution. You can see that we have a bullet style version camera on the left-hand side. And you can see just to the right of that camera is the black body calibration unit. Black body calibration unit is a very simple device to add to the system. You just plug it in, you just give it 110 regular power. You dial in on the back of it a specific set temperature, and the face of that unit will heat up to whatever temperature you have dialed in. And then within the camera programming and configuration, you'll highlight that as your calibration source, and it will basically keep that camera constantly calibrated at an accurate temperature level. And that's how we get to the 0.5 degrees Fahrenheit plus or minus accuracy. This calibration black body unit always needs to be within the field of view of the thermal camera pointed right back at it. And I will also preface that the black body unit needs to be off to the side of the image or possibly at the top of the image. You do not want the people to ever be walking in between the black body calibrator and the camera lens. You don't want to ever obstruct that calibration source. And here's a third and final page of the brochure. We do have operation tips. These cameras and all this is not exclusive to Hikvision. This is thermal camera technology wide. All of these thermal technologies do want to be used in an indoors temperature controlled environment. Things such as wind or sunlight or high humidity, even if it is indoor, if it's directly under an air conditioning vent, all those sorts of things can alter the accuracy level that you're going to get. So the better we can control the environment, the better the accuracy will be. We do have people using these outdoors in like a tent. For example, Disneyland in Shanghai has like these 20 by 20 vinyl tents that they put up in front of the ticketing offices. So where you walk into this tent, you quickly get screened and scanned, and then you're permitted to enter into Disneyland. So it doesn't have to be a building per se, but you do want to limit the wind, the fluctuations in temperature, the sunlight, and those sorts of aspects. To the right-hand side of this page, you'll see that we have the various models. These models all have different lens millimeter lengths. So they have different target distance detection lengths. So the 13 millimeter, the one at the top, will detect at about 8.2 to 23 feet. The 6 millimeter goes to 4.9 feet to 9.8 feet. The 3 millimeter, 2.6 to 4.9 feet. And the handheld is roughly 3.3 to 6.6 feet. Here is an overview of the current products that we have right now on the camera side. The far left would be our new economy-based handheld model. Now, this model is strictly a standalone handheld model. There is no integration with software with this product, and it has a very short distance of detection, up to 1 meter. So if you're concerned about that social distancing and you want to make sure that you're 6 feet away from the person, then the economy model may not be the best choice for you. Now, stepping up one level to our more advanced handheld unit, this unit is Wi-Fi capable, which will allow it to pair with our software. And it also will go up to 2 meters of distance, giving you that 6-foot safety distance capability. Also, this higher level thermal handheld can be mounted onto a tripod. and it has that audio alarm. I don't believe the economy model has a built-in speaker. So those are a couple key differentiators. And then we have our bullet style cameras, and then to the far right, our turret style camera. The top right of the screen would be our black body calibrator unit. And in the lower right of the image, we show our tripods and tripod adapter brackets. All of these cameras have specific distance and height requirements to function properly, and it's going to be a rare instance that you actually will have a wall or a ceiling that is at the proper height and distance. And so we do offer these tripods, and we recommend that these products are mounted on a tripod so that you can get the exact specifications for the mounting heights and distances achieved.
Trey, I got a couple of questions that came in.
Sure. Can we hold them till the end? Because I probably will answer a lot of those questions as we go.
Yeah, so I was
Okay.
thinking as well, if we could do that, keep this going, and then we'll open up questions at the end.
Perfect. So what I'm going to show you right now is a facial recognition access control terminal. This facial recognition access control terminal has stereoscopic lenses at the top of it that can read your face and attach door entry permissions to a person. So if you're in the system, you can walk up to this unit, present your face, and if your permission is granted, you can unlock a door with this unit. And we've taken it one step farther by integrating a thermal camera to the top of this unit. So it will also verify if you have a high temperature or not. And if a high temperature is detected, it can lock you out of the facility. An additional feature of this unit is that it has face mask detection. So if you're not wearing your face mask properly, it can also lock that door for you. Another key benefit of this unit is that it is a video intercom. So if you are locked out of the facility because of a fever or a face mask issue, you can press the video intercom unit and open up two-way video audio communications with an indoor station terminal tablet that we have. And somebody indoors could be communicating with this person from a safe and secure distance location and talk to that person and perhaps refer them to go to a secondary screening point or tell them to please go to their vehicle and get their mask before they return to the entrance. Once again, these are supposed to be indoor use devices. So we do have a floor stand as well as a desk stand that they can be mounted on. This is the indoor tablet terminal that can be linked with that unit. So this is where you have that video intercom capability. You can see the people coming through the system one by one. It will have their picture. It will show you their temperature. It will tell you if they're wearing their face masks. And then let's say it's a visitor or a guest, somebody that's not into the system. You can have some signage by that access control terminal that says, visitors, please press the video intercom button. And then somebody from inside the facility could talk to that person, see the person, check their temperature, their face mask, and if they want to, they can press a button on this tablet to unlock the door for them and let them in. We also have a walk-through metal detector unit. This metal detector will do the obvious, detect metal, weapons, that sort of thing. It also has a built-in thermal camera on the top of this unit to screen you for temperature and give you the visual notifications on this little screen of what their temperature is. Really cool unit if somebody's looking for a metal detector. So sports arenas, music venues, airports, this is an awesome place to put this sort of stuff. Now, we talked about the facial unit being able to do face mask detection. We can also do face mask detection with our regular thermal cameras as well. However, they need to be paired with our Deep in Mind facial recognition NVR. And if they're paired with this facial recognition recorder, you can also get that extra level of doing face mask detection with the cameras. Another cool item that we have is a people counting camera. So on the far right of this image, we have a dual lens people counting camera. And this camera can be used in two ways. You can mount it above an entrance door to a building, and it will count the people as they enter and exit the facility and give you a running total of your current occupancy. And you can set an alarm to alarm you when a certain occupancy threshold is crossed. This camera, you can connect an external speaker to the camera, and you can program an audible wave file, an audio file, to say whatever you want it to say or sound like whatever you want it to sound when that occupancy level threshold is crossed. And so it can tell you, hey, warning, you know, you have too many occupants in the building, or whatever you want it to say or sound like. Now, this people counting camera, if it's linked with our iSeries NVR, you can connect one monitor to the NVR, and you can have this monitor by the hostess stand at a restaurant or by the front entrance to a shopping mall, and it's a visual display that gives you that running occupancy total. So easily that hostess can look at the screen and say, you know what, we're in the green zone, we're under our occupancy, I can continue to let customers in the door, or you know what, hey, everything's turned red here, we've reached that occupancy level threshold, I need to stop people from coming into my facility. Now, let's say that you have more than one entrance to a building. As I mentioned in the previous example, the NVR only has one monitor display output on it. So if you have more than one entrance and you want to have more than one monitor showing you your occupancy level at multiple doors, then this is where this solution comes into play. We have a digital signage box now where you can drop as many of these digital signage boxes at as many doors as you want, and then you can connect additional monitors to give you that occupancy information. And then also we've added a level of the ability to have marketing or advertising, such as a daily special or the weather channel or whatever you want to display on that other side of the screen. A third and final thing I'll talk about here is that same people counting camera, it could be also mounted perpendicular to a line at a bakery, a line at a fast food restaurant, any sort of a line that you wanted. And it could be used to detect the distance between people standing in that line. So if you want to ensure that people are practicing proper social distance, then you can use this camera, and then you can have the speaker attached to it, and it can tell the people in the line, attention, you're too close to the person in front of you, and that sort of information. And that is it for the PowerPoint part of the presentation. I have one other thing I do want to share with you guys, and that is going to be a video. This video is available on YouTube, and this is a publicly shareable video. I'm going to pull it up right now, and it may play a little jumpy through the Zoom presentation, and there is no audio on the video. but it does a great job at showing the various product solutions and scenarios. So I'll just let this video play up, and then we will jump into some Q&A.
Hey, Trey, on my side at least, it looks like it's frozen. Is it playing on your end?
It is playing on my end.
Okay. Yeah. If anyone else sees it playing, let me know, but it looks like it's frozen on my side.
Yeah, Ryan, this is Brian. It's not playing.
Okay.
We
Maybe
just switched
if
now.
it's- if
We
it
All
doesn't-
right, I apologize, guys. We will
know, we
can-
we'll distribute a link to this video and get that out to you guys, because it is worth taking a look, and it's an easy way to send it off to customers and stir up some interest.
Yeah, Ryan will get,
But
for
that's
everyone's
it.
benefit, Ryan will get, after this, he'll send out the link with the PowerPoint and the recording to everybody.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, Trey. Appreciate it. Nice presentation. You know, the goal was really to, what you accomplished, to give a baseline understanding, an overview, hit some of the technical points, but also from a sales standpoint, just lightly touch on, you know, how would it go into numerous environments with access control, the cameras, sports arena, things like that. So appreciate the overview on that. And then, you know, before we get into Q&A, we have a lot of questions stacking up, so we're going to get there for sure in just 1 minute. Before we do that, I know there's going to be questions about pricing and how do we get the equipment, sourcing, all that. So real quick, I'm going to do a screen share. I'm pulling this up. Bill Donahue, are you on the call here?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. Can you see my screen share?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to put this up here so it has the information for you. And then if you want to share real quick before we get into Q&A, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just take a few minutes here. I think most of the attendees on this call know who we are. We've been actually a tag partner for, a few years now. I'll bet you it's 4 or 5 years possibly. We don't do business with every tag member, but we do business with a great deal of them. Hikvision is a tremendous partner of ours at Anixter worldwide. So our largest video partner, I believe. So we're here to help in this new environment and these new applications. We can help with project registrations. If you guys come across some things and get it over to me, we can get a project registered through Hikvision that sort of will help you get some special, better pricing, if you will, especially if it's something that they're not aware of, and especially if it's something where Hikvision has not possibly been spec'd in. So we're just here to help and support. Everybody's sort of familiar with our branch network, our technical services group, the likes of that. But any help you need navigating through Anixter, because we are a big organization. We started off in the tag relationship as a company called Triad Distribution, a small distributor, comparatively speaking, to Anixter. So Anixter's a big monster. And we're actually getting acquired by another big monster coming up here shortly, Westco. So don't take it upon yourself to try to navigate through Anixter. If you could just make one short phone call or one quick email to me, and I can help with the right introductions, the right people, the right information. I do strongly encourage those that are actively working with Anixter on a regular basis is to utilize and sign up for Anixter.com, our e-commerce site. It's a very well-received e-commerce site. It allows folks to get in there and check your pricing, and you can do up your bids and different things that, 24/7, whatever time you have available to get on our e-commerce site, look around. Got a lot of different product offerings on there as well. So that's all I have. I'll let you guys get back to the Q&A. Thanks for inviting me.
Hey, Bill, this is Brian at TAG. We have kind of a group of different types of TAG members. We have members that have been selling physical security for many, many, many years. We have others that just recently got into it in the last 2 or 3 years. And then we have some on this call that have never been in it. Can you mention how you support those companies that have never been in it? I know you help with kind of heat mapping of where to put the cameras and things of that nature. Or can you just maybe do 30, just a brief overview of what Annixter does to help those members on this call that are not currently selling physical security?
Yeah, I would probably say if you are in proximity in a marketplace where we have a branch, our branch personnel can help you. We actually have been open during this process. We were considered essential services, so we were not shut down. So as we all know, we have different levels of technical expertise by people, by person. I would almost suggest if it's, and I don't want to make this harder than it should be, but like I say, if I could help sort of short circuit some of this information for you, please reach out to me. I'll get you in touch with the right people. Maybe have a couple questions with you with regards to the size and the scope of the opportunity you're looking at. And I'll do a warm handoff of you to somebody that from a technical aptitude standpoint should be able to take care of you. Hope that helps, Brian.
Yep, absolutely. And then I'll share additionally too, when I was at INET, I mean, Annixter was tremendous in helping us spec out some access control and doing that whole side of it. So it really helped from a pre-sales standpoint, knowing that Bill, your team and Annixter jump in and help engineer in addition to just here's the model number, here's the pricing. So I think that's a big value too. So, anybody has any questions, please start with Bill, and he'll usher you through, depending on what you need, to the right team members there. Is that fair enough, Bill?
Yes. Sorry, I went back on mute. It sure is. Yeah, just like I say, not trying to make it harder than it needs to be. On the contrary, just try to go the other way, just to try to help get you to the right people to talk to.
Absolutely. Okay, perfect. And then want to mention also the tag rebate as well. So part of that is a relationship we have with Annixter. There's a rebate there. Brian, if you want to add anything here, but from a rebate standpoint, 1% on the revenue paid on quarterly basis. So keep that in mind as well as you're using Annixter for that. So let's go ahead and open it up now to questions. I know we have several in the chat, so maybe we let me start there. And I know, so Brian Baxter, I know you had several questions. If we could start with you, if you want to unmute and ask that, then we'll get the Q&A going here. And I just muted you, Brian, so you should be good now.
I gotta find. I don't remember all my questions.
Okay.
one of them was with the black body thing, the calibrator. Like, how do we know there you go. I'm looking for my questions. Give me a second. I put my thing away. How do we know how do we verify that the black body calibrator itself is actually good too? For us to then say that we can trust that to generate the temperature we're looking for to measure against our subjects that we're testing.
So basically how accurate.
So the black body unit will increase the accuracy of the camera to the 0.5 degrees plus or minus threshold range. It'll actually get you in most scenarios within plus or minus 1 degree of accuracy or less. We have to put, spec-wise that it could possibly fluctuate plus or minus 0.5 degrees, but it actually is going to get, and I apologize, I meant to say 0.1 degrees plus or minus. Now, the way that you can verify that is by using an actual FDA-approved temporal thermometer on the person, and then cross-referencing that with the data that you're getting from the camera. And then the camera programming does allow you to have a little bit of a manual fudge factor to the temperature, so that if you're seeing that your handheld regular thermometer device is telling you that you're about 1 degree cold or 1 degree hot, you can actually go into the camera and manually tweak it to where it's matching the actual thermometer device and kind of fine tune it even more if you want.
Okay. And my second question, or part of my other question was, for the intercom unit that you, I guess that one of you showed, does the video show on both sides when like you're doing the intercom, like when you're speaking to the person on the unit and the person that's the operator, I'm gonna call them, on the other side? Does the person see the operator?
No. So the person on the tablet inside will be able to see the person outside of the facility. But if you're outside of the facility, you actually will only see the image of yourself. Just
Okay.
so that you can, it's more designed so that you can make sure that your face is properly positioned in the image of the camera.
Okay. And I mean, I know you mentioned that that unit was meant to be, or one of you mentioned that the unit was designed to be used internally, but for some of these devices, the point of I guess the point is to provide access or provide or prevent access to people inside of a building, and so then this might need to be mounted outside. So how would we do that then? And I know maybe one of the reasons might be theft or something, I don't know, but what did we do then in a situation like that for access control?
That's a great question. A lot of people assume this could be mounted outside for being an access control unit, but because of the thermal capabilities, we recommend that it's in a temperature controlled environment. So you could put a tent outside or possibly some sort of a sheltered area around it, and you could mount it on the exterior wall of the building, but you do want to prevent the wind and sunlight and rain and that sort of thing from getting to it. So yes, you could use it outside, but you do want to shelter it in some way from the elements.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. And let's go over to Sherry. I'll see on the screen here, Sherry. What I'll do, I'll go ahead and just read this out if I get it wrong or if
I'm here.
Oh, perfect. I know you have a couple questions. You want to go and ask them?
Yeah, on the door tablet, I didn't hear you say, is it 0.5 or 0.9 the swing?
It's 0.9 by itself. However, you could use the calibrator unit with that terminal. However, you got to keep in mind that now you need to find a place to put that black body calibrator unit. So because the person's face needs to be relatively close to the facial terminal unit, you have that person's face is going to be filling up a large, most of the real estate of the screen. And so you would have to have that black body calibrator unit positioned in just the right place to where it's off to the corner of the image. And you want to basically let people know that they can't get in between that calibration source and the camera. So it becomes a little bit more challenging with that facial terminal because of the close proximity of the face to the unit. But it could be used in combination with the calibrator and get you 0.5 degrees accuracy if set up properly.
And then typically when you're talking about a 0.9 swing, is it usually a plus 0.9 or a negative 0.9?
That will all vary on the environment that the unit's being used in. And the more that you can temperature and climate control the environment, the less of a swing that you will have. But let's say that it's outside in a tent. In the morning, because it's colder outside, the ambient temperature is colder outside, it may swing towards one side of the range, whereas in the afternoon when it's hotter, it may be swinging towards the other side of the range, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. And so when you said you have to publish 0.5, but you really could get within 0.1, but you don't put that in writing, is there the same for the 0.9 indicator? Is it really going to be less than that, but you just don't want to publish it?
I would say so. I would never sell on it being any better than that, just in case. But I would say yes. The camera that I started my presentation with the demo, that was actually our lowest cost thermal that we have, and it's only 5 degrees plus or minus accuracy as far as what we can say on a spec sheet. But I find that camera can actually get me within a degree plus or minus. So this one, the body temperature screening ones, you're going to be well within that 0.9 or well within that 0.5 plus or minus fluctuation.
And I would assume the device that's the metal detector is the same. It doesn't come with the calibrator unit, but it could be used with one?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Sherry. Appreciate the questions. One other one we have here, and maybe Brian Sirth, maybe you can answer this one. Ruth Ann was asking marketing material, available from email campaign. I know we're working on a number of things. Do you want to give an update on where we're at the marketing email campaign side of that?
Yeah, before I respond, I'd like to have Hikvision share with everybody what materials they provide. So Stephen or Trey, if you could share, and then I'll let everybody know what TAG is going to do. But why don't you guys share the type of support to help promote your solutions?
Sure. So we have our 3-page brochure that we went through. We have data sheets on all the products. And then we have that YouTube video, actually several YouTube videos now that you can share. Our website is also very informative as far as getting more information, specs, model numbers. And if we do have a specific dealer that wants to put a tailored marketing campaign together, we have internal marketing staff that we can co-brand some of this literature with you guys. All of the above is available.
Okay, perfect. And then
so Brian and
go ahead, Stephen.
Brian and Ryan, we'll definitely after this call, we'll send you over the materials and the links.
Perfect. No, that would be fantastic. And then to answer Ruth Ann's question from a TAG standpoint, we already have our graphic artists working on campaigns like we typically do that we send out to everyone that will be loaded into the back end of our website, and Janet and her staff can leverage and utilize for social media and all the different ways that you're used to. So between Hikvision and between TAG, we'll have a lot of information out to everyone shortly. And then obviously we'll be writing a press release for everyone in terms of the topic of thermal technology as well. So that way you can utilize that to market, and also you can, those of you that have blogs, you can leverage that content in your blogs as well.
Great. Thank you, Brian. All right. We're coming up here top of the hour. Any other last questions? We may have time for one more. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Anything comes to mind, please reach out to us after. We can connect you with the right people if we can't answer it ourselves. Appreciate the time today. Thank you, Trey, Steve, for putting us together, Bill for joining and participating, and all the members. Thank you. We'll send out a recording of all this, with all the information as well.
The other thing I was going to mention before everybody leaves, Ryan has been working with a number of our members on scripting and how to market in rifle and shotgun into your base with thermal technology. So if you want Ryan, myself, anyone else here at TAG to work directly with you and your sales team, we've put that together. I foresee us putting maybe some webinars out on that topic as well, so you can be successful targeting your base. I'm sure, obviously, everyone knows the huge opportunities that exist in thermal technology. Just real quick, as Ryan mentioned, even here locally in San Diego County, I can't watch an interview without any business owner, whether it's a restaurant, a hair salon. We just opened up a major casino today. My daughters went to their orthodontist yesterday, and they got their temperature taken with a handheld scanner, just like Hikvision shared with you today. Every interview that I'm seeing across every industry, the interview can't get done without someone mentioning thermal technology. So it's becoming commonplace and will become commonplace, and it applies to every business for employees, customers, and it's also going to be a competitive advantage for those organizations that invest in it. So for example, 4 casinos opened in San Diego County this week. One highly promoted and was interviewed on the news stations about thermal technology. Now that's a competitive advantage for that casino versus the other 3 that opened up this week. So anyway, huge opportunities in general for thermal technology, and we appreciate everybody's time, and we want to thank Hikvision again, as well as Annixter, for being partners with TAG and servicing all of you. Many of our members work with Annixter, and many of our members sell Hikvision. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.